Every year, millions of Muslims around the world sacrifice animals on the same day. Blood flows through streets from Makkah to Jakarta. Families gather. Prayers echo across cities. But if you ask most people why we do this, they'll say it's about Prophet Ibrahim sacrificing his son. And they're right. But that's not the full story, because what happened on that mountain wasn't just a test of one man's faith. It was the moment that revealed something so profound about the nature of worship, obedience, and what Allah truly wants from us, that it would echo through all of human history. What Ibrahim did that day wasn't just sacrifice. It was something far more powerful, something that most of us still don't fully understand. And until you know the real reason behind Adha, you'll never truly grasp what this day is asking from you. Let's go back, not to the day of sacrifice, but years before it, to a man standing alone in a world drowning in shirk. Ibrahim alayhi salam wasn't born into Islam. He was born into darkness. His own father carved idols with his hands. His people worshipped stars, the moon, the sun. They bowed to stone. They called upon creation instead of the Creator. And in the middle of all that, Allah chose one soul, one man, to carry a message that would split history in two. Ibrahim didn't just reject idols, he destroyed them. He stood in front of his people and challenged everything they believed. They tried to burn him alive. They built a fire so massive that birds flying above it would fall from the sky, and they threw him in. But Allah made the fire cool. Allah made it safety. Because when you stand for Tawheed, when you abandon everything for Allah, He becomes your protector. Even physics bows to His command. But here's what most people don't realize. Ibrahim's test didn't end there. That was just the beginning. Because after the fire, after the rejection, after being exiled from his people, Ibrahim made dua, a dua that would change his life forever. He asked Allah for a righteous son. He was old. His wife Sarah was barren, but he asked anyway, because that's what faith is, asking when logic says it's impossible. And Allah answered, but not in the way he expected. Sarah remained without a child for years. So she told Ibrahim to marry Hajar, her servant, and from Hajar came Ismail, a son born in old age, a miracle child. Ibrahim, the man who had sacrificed his people, his home, his safety for Allah, finally had something that was his. Someone to love, someone to carry his legacy, someone to continue the call of Tawheed. He didn't just love Ismail, he was attached to him. Deeply, naturally, the way any father would be, and that's important, because what was coming next would only make sense if you understood how much Ismail meant to him. This wasn't just his son. This was his answered dua, his companion, his hope in this world. But Allah had already planned something that would test Ibrahim in a way the fire never did. Because it's one thing to sacrifice your own life. It's another thing entirely to sacrifice the life of the one you love most. Years passed, Ismail grew, and then Allah commanded Ibrahim to do something that seemed strange. Take Hajar and Ismail and leave them in a barren valley. No water, no food, no people, just sand and mountains and silence. The place that would later become Makkah. Ibrahim obeyed. He left them there, and as he walked away, Hajar called out to him, "Why are you leaving us here?" He didn't answer. She asked again, "Did Allah command you to do this?" He said yes. And she said, "Then He will not abandon us." That's tawakkul. That's what it looks like when you trust Allah more than your circumstances. Hajar didn't panic. She didn't blame. She accepted. And because of that acceptance, Allah sent Jibril to strike the earth and bring forth the water of Zamzam, a spring that still flows today, a miracle born from submission. But Ibrahim's test wasn't over. Not even close, because after years of separation, after the pain of leaving his only son in the desert, Allah gave him a dream. And in that dream, he saw himself sacrificing Ismail. Now understand this. Prophets don't have normal dreams. Their dreams are revelation. They are commands from Allah. So when Ibrahim woke up, he knew exactly what this meant. Allah was asking him to sacrifice his son, not symbolically, not metaphorically, literally. Imagine that moment. The internal war. This is the son you prayed for, the son you left in the desert out of obedience, the son you finally reunited with, the son who is now old enough to walk beside you, to talk with you, to help you build the Kaaba. And now Allah is asking you to take a knife and end his life with your own hands. Any other man would have questioned it. Any other man would have looked for a way out, but Ibrahim didn't debate with Allah. He didn't ask why. He didn't try to reinterpret the dream. He simply prepared to obey, and that's the difference between us and the prophets. We negotiate with Allah's commands. They submit to them. But here's the part that breaks my heart every time. Ibrahim didn't just go and do it in secret. He went to Ismail, his young son, and he told him, "My son, I have seen in a dream that I am sacrificing you. So tell me what you think." He gave him a choice. He let him speak. And Ismail, young, innocent, full of life, said words that should be written in gold. "Oh, my father, do what you are commanded. You will find me, if Allah wills, among the patient." A child ready to die, not because he wanted to, but because Allah wanted him to. That's the level of Iman we're talking about. Father and son, both submitted, both ready, both willing to give up everything. So Ibrahim took his son to the mountain. Some narrations say it was in Mina, the same place where millions of pilgrims stand today during Hajj. He laid Ismail down, forehead to the ground, because he couldn't bear to look into his son's eyes while doing it. Ismail told him, "Tie me tightly so I don't struggle. Sharpen the knife so my pain is less. And when you return to my mother, give her my salam." Even in his final moments, Ismail was thinking of others. That's ihsan. That's beauty in submission. Ibrahim raised the knife, his hand trembling, his heart shattered, but his resolve firm, because this wasn't about what he wanted. It was about what Allah wanted, and he brought the blade down. But it didn't cut. The knife, sharp enough to split leather, couldn't even scratch the skin. He tried again. Nothing, because Allah had already decided. This was never about the blood. It was about the intention. It was about whether Ibrahim was willing. And he was, fully, completely, without hesitation. And then it happened. Jibril came down with a ram from Jannah. Allah called out, "O Ibrahim, you have fulfilled the vision. This is how we reward those who do good." Indeed, this was a clear trial. The sacrifice was replaced. Ismail lived, but something greater had died. Ibrahim's attachment, his nafs, his desire to hold on to anything above Allah's command. That's what the sacrifice was really about. It wasn't about killing Ismail. It was about killing the part of Ibrahim that could love something more than Allah. And he passed. Not because he didn't love his son, but because he loved Allah more. And that's why we sacrifice on Eidul Adha, not to remember a story, but to ask ourselves a question: what are we holding on to that we're not willing to sacrifice for Allah? What part of us is still too attached to this dunya? What do we love so much that if Allah asked us to give it up, we'd hesitate? The animal we slaughter is not the point. The point is what it represents: your ego, your comfort, your desires, your attachments. The meat feeds the poor, yes. But the act is meant to cut something deeper. It's meant to remind you that everything you have belongs to Allah. And if He asks for it back, your only response should be, "Samna wa atana." We hear and we obey. After that day, everything changed. Ibrahim became Khalilullah, the friend of Allah, not because he was perfect, but because he surrendered perfectly. Allah honored him in a way no other prophet was honored. He made his family the center of the greatest act of worship. The Kaaba that Ibrahim and Ismail built became the Qibla for all of humanity until the end of time. Every single Muslim 5 times a day turns toward the house that a father and son built together after they proved they would sacrifice each other for Allah. That's not a coincidence, that's divine poetry. Allah took their submission and made it eternal. He took their pain and turned it into mercy for billions. Because now, every year on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, we remember. We stand in Arafat, we stone the shaitan in Mina, we sacrifice in the name of Allah, and all of it traces back to that one moment, that one decision, that one knife that didn't cut. But here's what destroys me. Most of us perform the sacrifice, but we've never truly reflected on what it's asking from us. We buy the animal, we pay someone to slaughter it, we distribute the meat, we eat, we celebrate, we move on. But we never stop and ask, what is my Ismail? What is the thing in my life that if Allah asked me to give it up, I don't know if I could? For some of us, it's money. We say we trust Allah, but we hoard wealth like our rizq comes from our job and not from our razak. For others, it's status. We want people's validation more than we want Allah's pleasure. For some, it's a relationship. We know it's haram. We know it's pulling us away from salah, from Quran, from peace, but we can't let it go. And for others, it's comfort. We're so attached to our routine, our ease, our entertainment, that the idea of sacrificing our time, our sleep, our desires for Allah feels impossible. Ibrahim gave up his son. What have you given up? And I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty. I'm saying it because this is what Eidul Adha is for. It's a mirror. It's a reminder. It's a moment to check your heart and ask, am I really submitted or am I just going through the motions? So why do we celebrate Eidul Adha in 2026? For the same reason we've celebrated it for over 1400 years, because the lesson never gets old. The test never stops. Every generation faces the same choice. Will you hold on to what you love, or will you trust Allah with it? And here's the mercy. Allah didn't take Ismail. He returned him, because that's what Allah does. When you're willing to sacrifice for him, He replaces it with something better. Maybe not immediately, maybe not in the way you expect, but He always does. Ibrahim gave up his son and got him back. He gave up his homeland and was given Makkah. He gave up his people and became the father of prophets. That's the pattern. Sacrifice leads to expansion. Submission leads to honor. Letting go for Allah's sake leads to receiving more than you ever imagined. But you have to be willing. You have to place it on the altar. You have to raise the knife, not knowing if Allah will stop you or let it go through. That's tawakkul, that's trust. And that's what the Eid is celebrating. Not just a historical event, but a living, breathing reality. That Islam is not about convenience. It's about surrender. It's not about what feels good. It's about what Allah commands. And when you live like that, when you really live like that, everything changes. Your salah changes, your relationships change, your risk changes, because you stop clinging and you start trusting. The ram that replaced Ismail didn't come from the earth, it came from Jannah. And that's the secret. When you sacrifice something for Allah, the replacement doesn't come from dunya, it comes from above. It comes with barakah, it comes with peace, it comes with a sweetness that no amount of holding on could ever give you. So this Eid-ul-Adha, don't just slaughter an animal. Slaughter your attachment, your pride, your fear, your doubts. Slaughter the part of you that thinks you know better than Allah. Slaughter the voice that says, but I need this, when Allah says, let it go. Because the knife is in your hand. The question is, are you willing to use it? Ibrahim was, Ismail was, and because of them, we have a path. An example, a reminder every single year that no matter what Allah asks from you, it's never more than what He's already given. And if He asks for it back, it's only because He wants to replace it with something you couldn't even imagine. That's why we celebrate, that's why we sacrifice, that's why this day matters. Not because of a story in the past, but because of a question in the present, what will you give up for Allah? And when you finally answer that, you'll understand what Eid al-Adha was always really about.